Hello, my name is Laura. You're going to see me. You'll only hear my husband, who's in the background.
In the
In the background. You can't,
Okay.
He's not behind me. He's behind the camera. He's the one recording this video. But we've recorded the topics in the past about co-creation and why things happen in my life. And a lot of these questions keep coming up that are in relation to this. So we're going to be talking about today your experience and are you creating what's happening to you, basically, I think is what we had discussed before
Okay.
starting the video.
Okay.
Go ahead, hon.
All right. Go ahead with what?
Well, with this topic, because you had the thought about what we should be covering, and I'm not sure where that thought was going to go other than how to introduce this video.
Well, I have the thought because it keeps coming up with a lot of individuals.
Okay. An example, please.
All right. Well, a great example is, we met with a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he doesn't mind us telling this story a little bit, where he has an ailment, right?
Okay.
And we found out that the ailment, the cause of the ailment, well, his concern was that he always thinks about this specific part of his body. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then so he had challenges with that part of his body, like frequently, maybe not frequently, not as frequently as before,
Okay.
once he started working with us, but it's still there. And after it was revealed to him, well, that was a past life, and exactly what happened, it explained why he thinks the way he thinks, why he has that
Mentality?
mentality about this certain part of his body.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought about that as well. So is he the one creating it? In a way, yes. But then the question is, but is he actively creating it? In a way, yes, but also no. Because if it's a past life experience, it's your soul that's remembering it and it's triggering it in you now. And so then you have this thought, but it's from a past life.
Okay.
So the point is that there's some things or feelings or emotions or behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
habits that people have that they can't explain. They're trying to figure it out, and it simply might be tied to a past life, not necessarily to this life now.
So it may not necessarily be something that they created, because normally when you create something, you talk about it happening over and over, that it actually happens.
Exactly.
This could be like all of a sudden, let's, for example's sake, I start getting sharp shooting pains in my shoulder one morning. And then I start to wonder every morning, oh my gosh, am I going to wake up with these pains again? Am I going to wake up? Was that what you're talking about? And then it gets explained.
Hold on, let's use a good one. Remember in that previous embodiment when you were a prostitute?
Oh! Which one?
How many of them have you had?
You've told me about a few of them.
Really?
Yes.
You've been a prostitute more than one lifetime?
Apparently so. Do we have to bring up my life?
I only know of one.
You told me.
The
you know
one
what?
with the back pain.
Okay, no. From what was explained to me,
Uh-huh.
it was more than one life.
Really?
I mean, I ran a brothel in one. You told me of another experience where I was just a prostitute on my own. So
I don't remember those at all.
But I remember when after our seventh child was born, I had really intense back pain. I couldn't move in any position where I could be comfortable. It was just constant pain. And I was told this because I had abused sex in past lives. And then these things started coming up as to what I did. Okay, go ahead.
No, but then what happened once that was told to you?
Well, once it was told to me, every now and I explained why I had all this back pain, because that was the effect from all these different lives.
Your
Low
activity.
back pain, all that wonderful activity. Abusive activity. Okay, anyway, so, I started to decree more, and with that in mind, to get rid of it. And now, when I get back pain, it doesn't last for long. It's not debilitating anymore, and things are getting better.
So that's what I mean. So
But I don't wake up thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm going to lift this box, is my back going to go out, or am I going to get hurt again, or am I going to have pain? I don't think like that.
And Well,
No, I'm just making sure that that's clear. That
No,
they
that-
know people know I'm not trying to create it, thinking about it all the time.
Oh, I see. I was wondering why you say that. But the point I'm making is that you had challenges with back pains,
Right.
and you were trying to figure out why, and
Yes.
then you were told why, and now it's pretty much gone away. Is the point?
Right. And I used to have back pain from when I was a teenager.
Oh. Okay, so it wasn't just after childbirth.
Oh, it wasn't just no. That's when the explanation started to come.
Oh, okay.
Was after the childbirth, but before then, I had always had back pain.
So if you notice, it's not as if though you were walking around saying, "Oh, my back hurts," or whatever people would say to attract that type of frequency.
Yeah, you're a pain in my back.
Exactly right.
I
Who
didn't
knows?
do those things,
Yeah.
right?
But yet still it was there
It was.
because it came from a previous life.
Right.
So why would I bring that up? Because in previous videos we talked about people creating things by what they say,
Yes.
right? However, they might be thinking about it this way, like they might be saying, "Oh, my leg always hurts." Why does my leg always hurt? And so we could say, looking at it in this life, we could say, well, you've created that because you keep saying it.
Right.
But they're actually not saying it, they're asking, why does it hurt? So that's different than saying, my leg is hurting. If you're asking a question, you're not creating it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if they're asking and then it's still there, there's a pretty good chance that it probably comes from a previous life, from a completely different dimension. And once that is shown to them, things change. We have one lady. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
was have another example of myself.
Okay. Not a positive one, is there?
No.
And here you are in this lifetime. You're about to go be a nun. Look at that.
I know. Maybe that's why I was going to go be a nun. I needed to make up for all those horrible things I did. But a few years ago, I started to get, as I've told you, a pain that would go from my shoulder down to about the middle of my arm.
Okay.
And it would be difficult for me to raise my arm up or move it around, activities. It just, even washing my body, trying to wash my back in the shower and stuff would be painful. And a few months ago, my husband and I, he was practicing doing some Akashic record reading on me. And it came up that was an injury from a past life.
Really? I don't remember that one.
Yes, and it was all related to me running away from things. I just remember that there was a situation, and instead of dealing with it, I ran away. I got on a horse, and as I was fleeing on the horse, I fell off the horse and injured my shoulder. And that's why that pain was there. But since that was revealed, that I don't have pain in my shoulder anymore. I just realized that a couple days ago when I was showering, and I'm like, wait, I'm doing this and there's no pain. So that's another example.
Okay. See?
Who knew I would be such a great subject for these videos, right?
And you're like, what are we talking about?
What are we going to cover?
But so the question, going back to the question, are you creating the experiences that you have?
Well, you know what? I could say yes, I created it in a past life and I'm feeling it now, but am I currently creating it?
No, right?
No.
And so we said, are you creating? We didn't say, did you create?
Right.
Right? So the answer is no. Now, did you create in a previous life? It could be.
It's possible.
All right? And I guess the answer would be yes when you think about it, except for the gentleman I talked about, because in that case, we know what happened there, and he didn't create that.
You didn't create it.
Exactly. But then this is a wonderful one for me, and because we're not saying her name, I think it would be okay.
Okay.
But we haven't gotten the okay for this one. Or the gentleman one, but that's why we're being...
That's why we don't name individuals'
Right.
names.
I'm not giving details as well. But with the lady, she's married, and when she got in touch with us, she mentioned that they're trying to have a baby, and they've tried, and it wasn't happening. They were really having a hard time with it.
Right.
And then she was guided on what to do, to follow certain things, and she did that, and she got in touch with us again. After that time, there was a certain time period that had to go by, and she got in touch with us, and I don't recall exactly. You recall what happened next, or was it right after that she got pregnant, that she was expecting after that?
I don't know what timeline you're looking at. I know she got in contact with us and you guys had done some work together, and then I don't
The
recall
bottom
the
line
full
is that she
timeline.
got pregnant.
Right.
Okay. So then she gets pregnant, and then it's revealed to us while I was doing work on her one day, why she was having a hard time getting pregnant. Remember that? And then you had the call with her. We had a call with her. I told her that, and once that was revealed to her as to why she was having a hard time, all of a sudden, the pregnancy started to get better and better. Things around the pregnancy improved. But when she was told, she's like, really? Because she could never imagine in a previous lifetime she had done something or said something. In that case, she said something. Is what it was, right? That caused her to have a challenge to be pregnant in this lifetime. So she did, like you said, she wasn't doing anything in this lifetime to cause it.
Right.
But she did something in a previous
life
lifetime
to do it.
And once that was shown to us, we went and neutralized that, and then all of a sudden, bang,
Everything's fine.
that's correct. When they're about to have their baby. You know, so that's another good example of how it's not what you do in this lifetime, it's probably something that happened before.
Right.
But whether or not you believe that you've lived before really doesn't matter, because it does affect you. You know, and you can deny it all you want, and if you're Catholics like us, initially we denied it.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the things that I was skeptical about. We should put that in the other video about my journey, about when I was told, oh, you've lived before. Yeah, really? You've lost your mind, because that doesn't happen. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, because they think, because the way we've been brought up, a lot of individuals, if you're a Christian, is that you live once. And after that you die, and you either go one place or you go to the other place. That's it.
Right.
Or if you're Catholic, you go somewhere in the middle.
So
it's a
depending
middle
on
place.
your sins.
Exactly, right.
Based on my past lives. Woo!
So that's another good example of where it's something from the past. Then I have one that another lady that we work with, right? The one that sent all the jewelry and everything to our kids.
Okay.
Wonderful friend of ours. And she was actually my sister in a previous lifetime, right?
Right.
Where it was revealed to her why she, why she behaves a certain way, I'd say.
Okay.
About her behavior, it was explained to her on one of the calls that we had lately with her. Were you on that call?
I don't know. We've had many with her lately.
Well, it was about a previous embodiment.
I'll say no, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Normally my wife is with me on these calls, so I guess she just
But there are
decided-
times when, I have other things that have to get done. He has to do business with individuals who call or need help, so.
All by myself.
All
like
by
Celine Dion
himself.
said. All by myself.
Okay, we're gonna get serenaded now. How about if you continue with the story
I
first?
don't want to be all by myself.
Go ahead, you can bring up your own Celine Dion video with this song now.
Anyway, but it was explained to her what previous life was the source of why she feels certain way. She feels a certain way in this lifetime. You know, and after that, now I mentioned to her, well, watch out, things will be different for you. Because once it's revealed to you, you understand why it's a certain way, and so when it comes up, you just say, okay, that's a previous lifetime, that's not in this lifetime. And that's how you
Right.
can deal with that. You know, you no longer feel the same way, you won't react the same way because you know it's not this lifetime. You're like, yeah,
Correct.
that's the past. I'll leave that there. So that's another good one. Because for the longest time we kept asking, why do you behave this way? You know, why is it that you think this way? And of course, she works really hard on not behaving that way.
to change her attitude
Exactly.
and everything.
And then she would get really frustrated because she felt, and she really does work hard at it, you know, and she didn't feel like progress was being made. And I guess she got to the point where they said, Master says, okay, it's time for us to tell you now, right? Big reveal, and here you go. Here's why it's like this. You can go back to the question. Are you creating that experience? If you look at it the way she was acting, you'd say she is, or she was.
Right.
But once we learn about the previous embodiment experience, then we realize, okay, yes, in a way she's creating it here, but it's because of what happened over there, and her soul is thinking it's going to happen again, so then it reacts a certain way. And once that's reprogrammed, like, wait a minute, that was a completely different lifetime, you know, don't be panicking and think it's going to happen now, then that changes. Because I still remember, I told you about myself, if I'd be driving in traffic and then a car pulled up next to me, especially on my left, I could literally feel like there's a bullet going through my temple and that someone would have shot me through my temple while I'm driving, and this person drove up and bang and would shoot me, just like that. And for years that happened, I didn't understand why. It's not like I was just walking around thinking someone's going to shoot me, but then I thought to myself, I think I'm going to die while I'm driving a car, someone's going to come up and shoot. After a while, I actually started thinking that.
Okay.
You know, and I just was waiting for the day for it to happen until it was revealed to me once I started to say, okay, I'll put some more effort into this. It was revealed to me with the previous embodiment that I was actually assassinated. And that's how I was assassinated. And then I realized, oh, okay, so nobody's going to drive up next to me and shoot me. And at that point, I was like 34 years old when that happened to me in that lifetime.
Now, did
So
you ever...
I just knew, I was so sure that by 34 I was going to die, that someone was going to shoot me through the temple. That's how sure I was, because this was such a vivid picture in my mind all the time. You know, and the closer I got to 34, I just started preparing to die because I knew it was going to happen. And now I'm like 2,500.
He's older than Jesus, everyone.
Exactly. You know, exactly. Him and I, we hung around. You know, I told him to be quiet so they wouldn't crucify him, but he would listen to me. So next thing you know, they put him on the cross. I'm still here because I stayed quiet. I keep my mouth shut. So you can get these things confused if you don't get the proper help. You know, you can panic about a lot of things. Right? You can get so worried and stressed out about things that are really not real in this lifetime. You know?
That took place in another timeline.
Exactly. Now, are there some things that you can create on your own? Yes, there are. You know? A great example for me is my Korean sister. Not too long ago, about a few months ago, she was so happy because her son was coming. He was going to go to California. You know, he lives in Hawaii. He was going to California, and they were going to spend time together as a family. And she was all excited about it. And then about a couple weeks ago, she called and she was very disappointed because he had changed his mind. He wasn't coming. So imagine you're the parent. It's like one of our kids call and say they're coming home, and then like they change their minds, right? You probably do the same thing. And you can bawl like when you're ready. I'm like, get out of the house. Just go cry outside. Anyway, like that. So she was very disappointed, right? Very disappointed. But when she and I were talking, her husband came through. And he had a conversation with her about why she should change her attitude and why she should change the way she's looking at it.
Change her perspective.
Change her perspective, right. And now I don't
We have a video about that too. Perspective.
That's right. I don't recall what he told her because of course I was just busy giving the message, right? I just know that he did tell her certain things. And by the time we were done with the call, she felt differently. I asked her, how do you feel? Did that help? She said, yes, okay. Well then, we talked this weekend. Was this weekend? Or last weekend? Do you remember?
I think it was this past weekend.
This past weekend. I'll go with my wife when it comes to that. So this past weekend we talked, and then she was extremely happy. So, what's going on? She said, well, he actually called, and then he said he was coming. He changed his mind. He showed up, and then we spent this time together. So she was very happy that he showed up. But when she found out that he wasn't coming, she was so disappointed. You know, you could almost, I won't say that it was, but you could almost sense that she was about to get angry with him for doing what he was doing. You know, and if she had done that, then you could see that there's negative energy now surrounding the relationship. Make sense? But by her husband coming through and saying, hey, cut that out, don't do that. Even though she might have felt disappointed, there was positive energy around that whole situation because she understood it differently. Her perspective got changed by what her husband said. So by putting out the positive energy, all of a sudden, he gets it and he changes his mind. He calls and says, I'll be there. And he shows up. So see, did she create that? I say yes, because she had two options. get angry and not want to talk to him for a while because he just disappointed her. Even though that's not the way it is, right? But that's the way she probably
Right,
seen it.
right. Mhm.
Or look at it, say, okay, I understand why he's not coming. There has to be something very important why he's not coming. And no matter what, I'm going to support his decision. I might not agree, but I'm going to support it. Say positive. So what do you get in return?
Positive results.
Positive results. So how many times, or do you have any example of anyone or any situation similar to that, where you have the choice of either making it something negative or turn to something positive, and then what option did you take, and then what was the result based on the action that you took?
I don't have any that are coming to my head, but I know it's happened to me before. Just by changing my perspective, things changed. But I don't recall any right now.
We just had a meeting not too long ago that we went and met with some head folks, some administration people, and if you don't remember that,
Well, I did not remember that now until you just said it.
so to me that's a good one because your perspective was something else on that one.
Yes, I was ready for battle. I was not ready for a good outcome. I wanted a good outcome, and I was projecting a lot of energy and love toward the whole situation so that would be peaceful, and it ended up being fine.
Now if you're projecting all that
Despite- I
positive
know,
stuff,
but why did I still have all that other stuff built up inside? I don't know.
folks, it got to the point before we had the meeting, my wife was telling me she had a headache. What
Yes.
else, what else did you have?
Oh, no, it was really just a headache, just
Uh-huh.
the pain and pressure in my head.
And I told
It
her,
was all self-induced.
oh, you knew that, right?
Yes, you told me that.
Uh-huh.
I'm stressing myself out.
All because of a meeting. Now think about this. Here she is. If she's projecting love to a meeting, folks,
I know.
Why
Why
does she
am I
have a
stressing
headache?
myself?
think about it.
Because I was ready for whatever would come.
So you're projecting,
mind.
you're projecting love and everything
Yes,
else. but
that's
you're
what I'm
saying,
sending out there.
When I'm
But
going
then
out there, I'm gonna fight.
internally, yes.
So what was that?
I don't know. And I don't know. You know, I think it was your energy that saved everything, not mine. Because my husband's like, honey, shh. Don't do that.
I had to stop her from talking. Actually,
I was ready to jump on some people. But everything worked out.
but I'm using an example because many individuals will probably take that approach, where they're hoping it will turn out right, and they're trying to project positivity, but that doesn't mean anything if the emotions that are tied to that are negative.
Right? And mine were, because I felt like my husband was being attacked and I was ready to defend. I was in warrior mode. Yes, let's go get him.
What are you going to do? You don't even know how
I
to fight.
don't know. Well, not physically, verbally.
Oh yeah, you're good at that one. That you're good at.
Go ahead, tell me something. I'm going to prove you wrong. Go ahead.
But again, you can see how the experience that you have, you create.
Yes,
You had a headache.
I
Everything
did.
else. Both of us are dealing with the exact same situation.
Yes, and my husband, of course, is fine. I don't know. I'm looking forward to being at the same position my husband is in, where he could just go into a meditative state and be calm and tranquil all the time. That would be
You use
awesome.
the same meditation technique.
Okay, it works faster for my husband than it does for me. I'm still
Guess
working
what?
on it.
Guess what?
Because you're not emotional. You're logical.
All this emotional stuff, man. Barbie, you have to cut
I
it out.
chose to be born a woman so I could work for these emotions, I
Did
think.
you know what I said?
Yes, I heard you, Barbie.
Cut it out. There's a lady in town. She calls her Barbie. Because she's so thin.
Anyway, topic for another day.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's time is long already.
Okay.
So I hope that helps a little bit.
I hope these examples help you.
Right.
Please feel free to share the video. Find us at 190vision.com or 190vision on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And let's have some fun together. Share some of your experiences, send us questions, comments, concerns, and let's move forward.